Hello, my name is Jessica Van Kauk from Suki's Salons and Academy. Today I'm going to take you through a demonstration on our Suki's Signature Sweep Balayage highlighting technique. This is my model Zoe, and she's a natural level 7 with a previous application of some foil highlights. Today I'm going to take Zoe up a few levels with the blonde. I'm going to incorporate the balayage highlight globally throughout her hair, starting at the nape and working our way up. I'm going to start with a gentle ammonia-free lightener. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Professional Magi Mesh with a 30 volume developer. I'm going to start Zoe's balayage application at the nape of her neck. I'm taking small V-like sections. The reason why we want to take a V section is by doing so, with the shape, it will allow for the product to stay on the upper portion of the hair, not penetrating through to the other side. I load my lightener onto the brush, and I'm wanting the product simply just on the tip of the brush. As we work through, if the brush starts to get messy, what I like to do is to have a couple of extra towels on hand to clean that off. Working my way down the strand of Zoe's hair. Going to connect through on the other side. Now you'll notice that our sectioning was a triangular-like section, and we're mimicking that with a V-like formation. I'm going to connect the two V's. I'm going to gently take my finger and smooth any excess product, like so, just a very, very light, gentle touch. It's very important because you don't want to penetrate the product through to the other side. At this point, I'm going to pick up my paddle, I'm going to place it underneath, and I'm going to be more aggressive with my brush stroke, really pushing that product into Zoe's hair. For this piece right here, I'm simply going to pick up a single, so I'm not going to make a V-like formation, simply because it is a smaller section. I'm just picking up like so, vertically feathering my product down. Now I'm going to push the product more aggressively into the mids and ends of the hair. I'm going to gently take my finger and slightly smooth that. I'm going to allow it to drop. I'm going to gently allow the saran to gently cling onto the hair. You don't want to push it into there. You want to just simply gently rest on top. So allow the static to do the work for you. The purpose of the saran is so that we can enclose the body heat and keep our product moist to ensure that we're getting even and active lightening. As you can see, it's really important that we hold the hair at a 45-degree angle and that we adjust our body position to allow for proper flow. Now I'm going to pick up my balayage paddle and I'm going to really push that product into the hair. So we've worked our way up through Zoe's head and we're now approaching the crown area. And the wonderful thing about the saran is that it also allows you a window to see through to your previous section. So I'm going to be able to easily see where the last pieces were that I placed into Zoe's hair so that I can stagger them, allowing for a more natural flow. Again, I'm going to come up the other side. You'll notice how I changed the angle of my brush and I moved my body position with my pieces. Feathering, pushing more into the strand. As I work my way down, I'm going to pick my paddle up and I'm going to really saturate through those mids and ends. As we can see, this is an area where Zoe has less density of hair. And underneath here, we have a double. So due to the fact that there's less density of hair here, and I already know I have a double sitting right underneath, I'm going to just slightly pick up a corner section here, and I'm going to connect that in with a single. I'm going to continue up through Zoe's crown area, making sure that I'm bricklaying or staggering the pieces that I'm putting into the hair. So working with doubles and singles. So at this point, I've sectioned Zoe's hair from temple to temple, working on these areas separately. It's important to really do a thorough consultation and ask your guest or your client how they like to place their hair. I'm finding for more of a hairstyle like mine, more of a classic look with an exact part, it's beneficial to go horizontally up the head to sort of match with your placement. On Zoe's hair right now, the ladies with the long layers in their hair are really working their hair up and off the face. And that's why we call this the Suki signature sweep balayage technique, because I'm going to change it up a bit and I'm going to be working diagonal back. That way it will have maximum exposure of the pieces when they're coming up and off the face. I'm really going to work with my body position and bring the hair back as I'm applying my lightener. I'm going to carve out my pieces. Pulling up. Again, I'm taking these little hairs and I'm just pushing them out to last. I'm going to actually take my sectioning clip and clip them up and away here, because I don't want them to drag the lightener onto the other hair, which can happen with those little guys. And also I want to make sure I have a nice flow and distribution around the hairline. And I'm going to really saturate that hair. And I'm going to make sure I'm taking my hair and I'm placing it up and away. And very, very light, gentle touch on these hairs, okay? And just like so, just going to gently smudge a bit of that vertically. Now we're at the front top section of Zoe's head, and I've subdivided this into 4 quadrants, okay? I've left a 3-inch band around the face, and I have 2 right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on through these sections, and I'm going to work horizontally. Then when I come into this front 2 quadrants, I'm going to carry on and work diagonal back. That way when Zoe's hair swoops up and off her face, she'll have a continuation of that nice movement that we've created through the sides. In this area, I'm primarily going to focus on putting some singles into the hair. That way we'll get a little bit more coverage, which most people tend to want towards the front of their face and their parting. I'm loading my Platinum of 40 volume onto my paddle, picking up with a nice clean brush. And I have the product like so, just loaded on the tips. And I'm going to go in and create some nice pieces, getting a little bit more coverage through this area. Picking up and dragging the hair onto the paddle to get more saturation and more lightness through those mids and ends. I'm going to gently do a gentle swipe there, and I'm going to let the hair fall. Making sure that when I place my saran, it's not going to interfere with the rest of my working area. And this is where we're going to connect in with our diagonal back. So I can see what I want to emphasize here, and I'm going to carry my piece in this direction. And gently, with a very steady hand, I'm going to start to pull back. And then I'm going to pull up so I can connect in. I'm going to come down. I'm going to move back. And this is what gives it what we call the Suki signature sweep. Because as all this hair moves up and off her face, she's going to have this lovely sweep of lightness and definition through those areas. Just like we did on the sides, I'm going to let these little baby hairs fall till last, okay? Just let those come out. You don't want to force them into the section. It can cause drag which can lead to an unnatural looking streak, or it can be a little bit too pronounced, especially in an area where we don't have as much density to begin with. And we're going to get some nice saturation of lightness here through the mids and ends. We're going to really push that product in and let it fall. Okay, this is an area where I want a little more emphasis. So I'm really trying, not worried so much about bricklaying at this point. We're really trying to connect in through the same pieces. And I'm going to create my first piece here. Okay, and I'm going to be working directly right on top of my section at this point. Okay, I'm going to let this fall into the paddle. And just let it fall back like so. Okay, at this point we're going to cover this last section with saran. And Zoe's going to process at room temperature for 30 minutes. Zoe processed for 30 minutes, and we did a quick flash toner with a level 9 iridescent violet with the Dia Light from the Richesse line, L'Oreal Professional. As you can see, through her sides and the front here, we have this beautiful swoop and this cascade of beautiful light highlights coming through. Tapered off into more of a subtle honey blonde through the end. It's quite a seamless meld. Very natural look, as if you would see on a child's hair. And that is the beauty of balayage. You get that seamless blend of color from roots to ends. And with the Suki Signature Sweep technique, we have that gorgeous cascade of lightness carrying through the sides.